Thanks, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a minute. We're giving time for some people to come in. Ash, let me know when you're ready as well. Awesome. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to learn a little bit more about origins and about homeschooling. We're going to do a little practice here that's part of something that we weave into the curriculum as well, which is just kind of helping us all land together in this moment. So I'm going to ask everybody to just close your eyes for a quick moment. And we're going to take just a moment to slow your breathing down and connect to your breath. We're going to have you just let go of everything you were doing before you got here. We're going to have you consciously slow your thoughts down and see if you can feel your heartbeat. We're just going to take this quick minute to just really land here fully and let go of everything else, becoming fully present here in this moment. We're going to take 3 of the biggest breaths that we've taken all day today. So altogether, we're going to take a huge breath in and then sip in 3 more sips of breath and hold it. And then release audibly. Another one, huge breath in. 3 more little sips. Hold it. And sigh it out. Last one, the biggest breath that you've taken all day today. 3 little sips. And let it out. Thank you. So welcome. I have a few quick little housekeeping points. We're going to have everybody keep their cameras off and keep yourself muted. Any questions that you have, you can just post them in the chat. Make sure that you are posting to all participants and not sending a private message to the presenters. We will answer all of your questions either during the presentation or by the end. And if you stick with us all the way to the end of the presentation, we will be giving away a free full year's worth of curriculum. We're also going to have some special discounts for you guys. And so stay tuned and stay present. And just a little introduction. We're going to do an introduction. The presenters will be myself. I'm Genevieve. I'm the founder of Origins. Ashley Meyora. She is our creative director. And Sarah, who is a Origins veteran of 4 years, veteran homeschooling mom. And she's been with us since we started. So Ashley's going to take us through a presentation for about the next 20-25 minutes or so, talking about what Origins is, how it works, what you get. And then Sarah will close us out after that. So thank you all, and we are getting started.
Thank you so much, everyone. You should see my screen with these 3 essential questions that we're going to be covering today. We're going to cover what is Origins curriculum, how does it work, and what do you get? So the first one we're going to be looking at is what is Origins curriculum. Now, before we answer this, I want us to look at what a conscious curriculum is. It is an educational approach that integrates academic learning with mindfulness, emotional intelligence, ethical awareness, and connection to self, others, and the natural world. It goes beyond traditional academics to nurture the whole child intellectually, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. Now we have some key elements of a conscious curriculum. So let's break it down even further. Whole child development focuses on cognitive growth alongside emotional regulation, physical well-being, creativity, and social connection. Mindfulness and presence encourages students and educators to slow down, reflect, and engage in the present moment through practices like breath work, meditation, or mindful movement. Values-based learning centers around compassion, empathy, justice, sustainability, and personal responsibility, inviting students to live and learn with purpose. Nature connection recognizes the importance of time outdoors and deepening our relationship with the earth as foundational to human development and ecological stewardship. Interconnected experiential learning. Lessons are designed to be interdisciplinary and inquiry-based, allowing students to make meaningful connections between subjects and real-life experiences. Culture and global awareness helps students understand different perspectives, challenge assumptions, and see themselves as part of a global community. And last but not least, flexibility and student-led exploration supports both emergent learning and structured learning, creating space for curiosity, creativity, and personal agency. Now remember, if you have any questions, please put those in the chat, and one of the other presenters will let me know. So those were the key elements, but why does it matter? A conscious curriculum matters more than ever today because it directly addresses the real and rising needs of children in a rapidly changing world. We must consider, and Origins does consider, mental health and emotional resilience. Children today face unprecedented levels of stress, anxiety, depression, and sensory overload, often due to academic pressure, screen time, interrupted family rhythms, and a fast-paced culture. A conscious curriculum prioritizes emotional intelligence, nervous system regulation, and self-awareness, offering tools to manage big feelings and build resilience from the inside out. Nature deficiency and disconnection. Kids are spending less time outdoors than ever before, leading to nature deficit disorder. They actually have a name for it now. Reduced physical health and lower attention spans. Conscious education reconnects children to the earth through outdoor play, nature study, and seasonal rhythms, helping to ground them, inspire curiosity, and improve well-being. Disconnection from self and others. Many children feel isolated even when people are around. The emphasis on academic achievement, testing, and competition often overshadow relationship building and self-discovery. A conscious curriculum helps children understand their emotions, communicate compassionately, and develop a sense of identity, purpose, and community. Overstimulation and rushed childhoods. A modern childhood is often dominated by packed schedules, passive learning, and artificial environments. A conscious curriculum encourages slowness, creativity, play, deep engagement, allowing kids to learn in developmentally appropriate ways and actually enjoy the process. And last but not least, a changing world demands new skills. Today's children are growing up amidst a changing world, social polarization, technological disruption, and uncertainty about the future. They need more than memorization. They need conscious awareness, adaptability, compassion, and critical thinking. A conscious curriculum prepares them to become thoughtful, grounded, and empowered citizens of an interconnected world. In short, Origins is defined as a conscious curriculum because we've taken high-level academics and blended them with eco-literacy and mindful concepts and practices. For anyone unfamiliar with eco-literacy, it's also known as ecological literacy. It is defined as the ability to understand the principles of how natural systems function and how humans are interconnected with those systems. It encompasses an understanding of ecosystems, their interconnectedness, and how these principles can be applied to create sustainable human communities and practices. Origins addresses the contemporary needs of our children in our rapidly changing world with this new approach to learning and education. We empower students to grow not just academically, but as whole conscious humans prepared to contribute meaningfully to the world. Okay. Origins is the world's first conscious curriculum brand. We are research-based, standards-backed, and unschooling-inspired. Through our conscious curriculum, students develop real-world critical thinking skills and a deeper sense of identity, purpose, and belonging. They learn to navigate complex challenges like our ever-changing world while staying grounded in who they are. Okay. Who is Origins for? It really is for everyone. Our main curriculum, our premium subscription we have for pre-K through 5th grade. We also have supplemental curriculum for pre-K through 12th grade, but we are for homeschoolers, for homeschool educators, classroom educators of all backgrounds, and really for educators who value sustainability and mindful eco-conscious living, and those who want an innovative and fully comprehensive curriculum. Here is some evidence to back up Origin's unique approach. These are the facts. Mindfulness integration reduces anxiety symptoms in youth. Nature-based learning enhances cognitive skills like memory and attention. Eco-literacy education improves environmental knowledge and conservation attitudes. Systems thinking methodology strengthens understanding of complex problems. And all of these things are integral to Origin's curriculum. All right. So we've been talking a bit about what Origin's curriculum is. So now let's dive into how it works. These 4 focal points serve as the steady structure of the curriculum year after year, providing children with a familiar and evolving framework as they grow and transition through different stages of development. Each focal point is anchored by one of our 4 guiding questions, which you'll find below the focal point icons here. These 4 foundational focal points and questions invite children to explore their inner world, their environment, and the deep interconnection between all things. So we will take a little time to go through each focal point. Internal, who are we? We begin by looking inward. This focal point is about discovering who we are as individuals, what makes us human both inside and out. We explore our physical traits, personalities, experiences, while also finding the beautiful similarities and differences between ourselves and others. Students learn to share their stories mindfully, building trust and practicing vulnerability. Through goal setting, self-assessment, human anatomy, and even poetry, we reflect on our own identities, our families, and our home life. From there, we expand to our extended families and ancestors, exploring where we come from and the histories that shape us. The internal lens encourages curiosity, self-awareness, and the foundational inquiry skills needed to understand our place in the world. And then we move on to external, who lives here. From self-awareness, we expand outward to explore our surroundings. The external lens invites us to discover the people, plants, animals, and ecosystems that share our world. We investigate our communities, the land we live on, and the traditions and histories of those who came before us, including the indigenous peoples, the original stewards of the land, past and present. Students learn to research, fact check, and think critically about the information they encounter. Through nonfiction and fiction studies, we explore different cultures and societies, building empathy and respect for the diversity of life on Earth. These focal points strengthen our connection to the natural world and deepen our understanding of how we fit within it. Metaphysical, what's happening? The metaphysical lens blends what we've learned about ourselves and our surroundings to help us understand the bigger picture. We explore how the systems of society operate, how the different parts of these systems interact, and how the cycles of nature sustain life. Here, imagination and curiosity fuel our learning. Students investigate the intricate workings of the human body, the planet's ecosystems, and the interdependent processes that keep life thriving. This lens fosters expansive thinking, emotional intelligence, and the awareness that we are part of a highly intelligent and harmonious system, one that we have the power to nurture and protect. And our last focal point is interconnection, how we are connected, or how are we connected is the guiding question. The interconnection lens explores how everything is connected and weaves together all that we've learned from internal, external, and metaphysical perspectives. We explore the intricate networks linking people, communities, ecosystems, and even the wider universe. This is where we examine the effects of human activity on our planet, the changes in our climate over time, and the ways in which we can care for and restore the Earth. Through service, community engagement, and collaborative projects, students practice applying what they know to make a positive difference in the world. Okay. The 4 focal points and their guiding questions make up the Mother Mandala, a living visual that represents the cyclical patterns of nature and our place within them. While the focal points form a steady framework, the rings of the mandala are dynamic, shifting and aligning in many ways. Each ring is independent, yet deeply connected to the others. This fluid structure allows learning to flow naturally, adapting to students' interests and needs while honoring the interconnectedness of life. Each focal point corresponds to a distinct color, which appears throughout the curriculum to help guide and inspire the learning journey. Okay, our biomes. As discussed, Origin's focal points create a fluid structure for the curriculum. Each year, students work their way through the focal points, creating a beautiful repetition, concrete learning, and they have the opportunity to dive deeper, expanding their understanding of themselves, others, and the world. With this in mind, we didn't want our students to do the exact same thing year after year. So we created differentiation within the curriculum by corresponding a biome to each grade. Origins uses a multidisciplinary approach where we take students on a virtual journey around the world, deep diving into each global biome. They learn about the original peoples, the plants and animals, about environmental concerns, economics, water cycles, weather patterns, food systems, soil types, the effects of a changing world, and how the regions are connected to the greater global web. These topics are explored through the lenses of reading, mathematics, science, social studies, biomimicry, language, music, and art, and so much more, all the while weaving in eco-literacy and mindfulness. These are Origin subjects and subject icons. These are listed on all of our lesson plans as well as organizational resources to make it easy to plan and teach. Our preschool does have some additional subjects or focuses like fine motor and cognitive, but it is still structured around our four main focal points: internal, external, metaphysical, and interconnection. Origin's curriculum blends core subjects into thematic, interdisciplinary lessons that reflect the interconnectedness of life on Earth. The themes are Origin's biomes, and the lessons are guided by three essential truths. 1, the Earth is a living body of interconnected patterns. 2, by understanding nature, we better understand ourselves. 3, mindfulness helps us know who we are and feel our belonging to the Earth. So hopefully I've done the curriculum justice and explained how it works simply enough. If you have any questions, I see 5 in the chat. Let me see. Okay, I think we're okay for right now. No questions to answer. So let us move on to our third essential question. What do you get? Okay. We know everyone's needs are different, so we provide a variety of curriculum options. You can purchase a monthly or annual subscription, or you can go to the Origin store and find supplemental single purchase curriculum and resources. For Origin subscriptions, we have a supplemental hybrid version and a premium version. You'll find the supplemental on the left here, premium. Our supplemental subscription gives you 4 lessons each month. This is great for kids who are still attending public school, but you'd like to incorporate more mindful, eco-based learning into their education. For Origin's premium subscriptions, which include everything, you have the option of paying monthly or annually. And if you do purchase an annual subscription, you can save $240, and the price is technically reduced from $85 to $65 a month. But again, that's paid annually. Your first month is a trial priced at $9.99. It's less than $10 for your first month. It's a steal. And it gives you enough time to see if Origins is right for you and your students. Just remember, it is a month trial. So if you do need to cancel, you have to cancel within that month time frame. Each month you receive new curriculum, content, and resources that are automatically unlocked and dripped to you, available on your subscription dashboard. For premium subscriptions, you receive a lesson plan packet, a workbook, and additional supporting resources, as well as all of the items listed in the image here in the right column. And number 5, print and teach. It really is as simple as that. The curriculum is already organized for you on your dashboard, making it easy to print and follow along with Origin's pre-filled planners. Those are only included in our premium subscriptions, and they provide you day-by-day instructions. Okay. So let's take a closer look at what you get with Origin's premium subscription. And this includes everything as mentioned. We have the list here. There are some thumbnails, so you can kind of have a visual of what it looks like, as well as a simple pricing guide on the right-hand side. But what I would like to do is, let's see if this works. I wanted to show you what our subscription dashboard looks like. Now I'm in preview admin mode, but this is our first grade. This is a premium subscription. Everything is very straightforward. It's in accordion style, so you can see all of the different sections right away. We always suggest starting at the top and starting here. So I just like to show this a little bit because you can also click through and navigate it here, next category, or you can use the links above. But all of your downloads are always to the right. There's always additional information down below. There's more information about the structure of the curriculum, and it just kind of guides you through to begin, so you don't feel alone or lost. So we do offer printing services through a third party that you can explore. I don't know if it's going to let, yeah, it should, okay. So this is the first, this is technically the intro review month, and first through fifth grade has an intro review month that we have everyone begin with at the beginning of the year. This helps to review, and also if you are starting with us during first or second, anywhere, like if you start with us in kindergarten, you know, preschool and kindergarten provide students, they allow students to study all the biomes and get familiar with origin structure and how it works. If you're beginning with any other grade, it's always great to do the intro review content first so that you have that foundational information. And it's just good to do each year to begin. But you can see you have your lesson plan packet, your workbook, and then any other additional resources will always be below that. And that's how the curriculum section is laid out. Each month will be dripped to you. You'll automatically unlock access, and you'll be able to download and print that information. We also have a video book library that you can click through. We have writing resources, and this is for typically our younger grades, helping with penmanship. We have reading resources for our younger grades as well. And if you do need this resource for older children for any reason, you can always reach out to customer service and we're happy to get to you. But it is written for younger grades, and it is an emergent reading curriculum that you will also find available in Origin Store. It comes with 10 levels, 11 including the introduction level, and it has 3 beginning reader books per level. So that's really cool. Oops. And you can go at your own pace with the emergent reading curriculum. That is in addition to just the yearly curriculum. We have reading lessons in the curriculum, but the emergent reading curriculum is separate. We have another section for mindfulness tools. So you'll find things like a completely separate mindfulness lessons and workbook packet, EFT tapping for kids. So if you've ever been interested in that, that is a pretty magical thing to learn and also do with your student. Something that I do try to do often. We have a gratitude journal, links to Origin songs, which are great. You can use this to sort of warm up or start the day or end the day. Breathing tools, guided meditations. There's a whole playlist of these. And there's some additional growth mindset resources, some posters, and some affirmation cards. Down below, we have social emotional support tools. And there are so many different kinds. This is a really great section because you don't have to use all of it. You figure out what works best for your student, and that's what you use. And there's so many different types. So again, all the downloads are to the right. We've got things like the emotional toolbox kit. We've got travel cards that you can print and laminate and take with you or put on a key ring. We have an emotions wheel. And then this one's really cool because it talks about emotions and sensations in the body. So it's not just talking about words that describe emotions, but feelings in the body. So yeah, there's a lot of resources here for you to explore. Let's see. Yes, so somebody asked, hello, is it possible to pay with a one-time credit card transaction for the annual subscription, or is reoccurring billing the only option? No. For our annual subscriptions, basically the first month is your trial, and then that second month is when the full amount will come out in one big go. If you wanted to expedite that, we can totally work with you with that as well, and just pay in full. But once you're paid, you don't have any payments monthly. The 65 a month I mentioned previously was just the math. So it reduces it down from 85 to 65, but you pay it in full. And the content is still dripped to you month by month. We do that so that people don't feel overwhelmed. But if you would like it all at once, we are happy to unlock all of it for you, and you can request that from customer service. So we're always happy to do that for you. Okay. Um, Here, I'm going to give you oops. This is my direct email. I actually handle all of the charter school stuff. And so I'll get you squared away. There you go. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. Okay. You're welcome. So we also have movement videos. This is great for a rainy day, or if your kids really do like to do yoga, there's yoga videos. There's lots of different stuff in here. Sarah Jamieson, who is also on this webinar presenting, has done some movement videos for us too that are very unique and beautiful. And so, our lesson plans, our curriculum include outdoor and movement lessons, as well as almost every single lesson has an outdoor extension, a way to take it outside. So there's that too. We also have yoga cards. Those are really fun. They include access to a YouTube playlist that provides you with audio directions. So you can print them, cut them out, laminate them, have students pick the card, and then you can, whether it's on a Bluetooth speaker, you can listen. What if you fall behind is, yes, everything is at your own pace. So even if, say you get a monthly subscription, if you are behind, you can always pause your subscription. Or you can just, let it ride and just go at your own pace. If you have the annual subscription, you've paid in full, and so you can, it doesn't matter. But all of this is at your own pace, which is really wonderful. Okay. Let's see. This is the community resource section. And you have access. This is a community forum that's built right into your dashboard. And then this is a separate Facebook group that is a little bit more, has a little more action in it. And when you click there, there is a password for you to join the private Facebook group, which is great. There was one more thing. First grade. There are, for you to work your way through the curriculum, there are little questionnaires that help us understand where your student's at, where you're at with things. And so you're always prompted to do that. It does not take long. But you can see kind of at a glance, these are all the different months of curriculum. Yeah. There is an end of the year assessment as well, that once you complete that, it unlocks your access to the next grade. So you have a seamless transition into your next grade, which is wonderful. Okay. And I think that was all that I wanted to show you. I feel like I'm forgetting one thing, but if I remember, we'll go back. All right. All right, so you've already seen a glimpse of the dashboard and you can see all the different months. This is showing you second grade. I showed you first grade. Oh, this is what I wanted to share with you. So throughout the year, we have 4 opening and closing resources. These are wonderful resources that give you ideas of how to begin or end a session of learning. Um, They've got different like little dice that you can make, have students roll, whether they want to do movement stuff or music, or it's just a great way to, great ideas. And the closing resource or the closing section of that document has different ways to assess students. And so a lot of your assessment stuff you'll find there. And again, you have 4 of those. And so your first one you'll get with month 1, your second one, which will be in external, you'll get in month 3 here. And then you'll get metaphysical a few months later and interconnection a few months later after that. These are just little thumbnails so you can kind of see what they look like. You can see there's a planner in the opening and closing resource. There's some movement stuff, a different kind of foldable reflection game. Just a glimpse, but there's so many resources in that. So that's just a sneak peek. This is what some of the, all the lessons are formatted this way. So you will always have at the beginning an overview, your guiding questions. These are rooted in our focal point guiding questions, but they go along with each month. And then you also have a full list of all of the different lesson titles, your pre-filled planner. That's something that I maybe could have shown you. I believe it's in the Start Here section though. And that is a day-by-day, our curriculum developers built out that resource so that it plugs in all the lesson plans and provides you with a very beautiful and organic and slow-paced, intentional way, mindful way of moving through the curriculum. You can also see we have resources and different links. So I personally, when I'm using the curriculum, I like to leave my lesson plan packet accessible on a device because if there's anything linked, I can click on it. It's fine to print it too, but it's nice to have it on a device. And then the workbook is what I print for my student. This is another little view. These are some of the pages. This is what the table of contents looks like inside of the workbook. And this is just a screenshot of one of the pre-filled planners. Okay. Let's see, any questions? Questions? So I'm going to go through. I'm almost finished with my part. But this is Origin Store. So this is a separate offering. What I've been showing you is Origin subscription, specifically our premium subscription. Again, our supplemental or hybrid subscription offers you 4 lesson plans that gives you a taste. You don't get those pre-filled planners and additional resources, but it's really nice if you want to implement some eco-based and mindful learning at home, whether your student is homeschooling and you're using a different curriculum or they're in public school. Origin Store has a plethora of resources. This also goes along with that supplementation hybrid model of curriculum and learning. We have our multi-grade quarterly curriculum, and we have this for, it's showing preschool here, but we have it for K through 2nd, 3rd through 4th, and 5th through 6th grade. That's how it's grouped. So if you have students, if you have children at home and they're close in age, that could be a great resource for you too. And you can see it's $80. These are single purchase. This is single purchase curriculum available in our store. Additionally, we have conscious lessons. These are geared for pre-K through 2nd grade. These are one-off lessons. There is a huge library. This is very minimal showing you here, but there's a huge library of really cool conscious lessons. So another way to supplement or integrate this type of learning, as well as we have exploratory courses, which we call our master classes for kids, and these are for preschoolers through 12th grade. Yes, Genevieve said each of these single purchase, so it's tied to internal, external, metaphysical, and interconnection. So 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Yes. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes. Here's some more of our resources in our store. We've got different educator resources. So any of those mindfulness resources that I showed you on the dashboard of our premium subscription. If you really like those, you can go to our store and download them. You can see they're all very affordable. And then we have some other things, summer games, Mindful Kids Packet, that emergent reading curriculum, which is included on our premium subscriptions for our younger grades, but also available for older grades if you need it. So lots of great things to explore in the Origin store. And we have some additional offerings too. We have offerings not only for kids, but for adults. So we have an eco-educator certification and a how to start a micro school course. So if you're curious about that, you can go check that out on our website. And we are going to hear from the lovely Sarah Jamieson next. Let's see.
Hey, welcome. So I know that we're sharing the screen here. Can everybody see me?
I can't see you.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Excellent. Okay. And then, okay. So I only see you, not the screen. There we go. Okay. This is my first time using Canva in a presentation, so please bear with me. Here we go. So yes, my name is Sarah, and I have a lovely, lovely, gifted autistic 7-year-old. His name is Leo, as you can see in the picture here. I've been with Origins for 4 years. So we started when Leo was in preschool, kindergarten, and he is now entering into grade 3. He does go to public school 3 days a week, and then I homeschool him on the bookends of the week, so Mondays and Fridays. And I chose Origins for a couple different reasons. Number one is I really wanted to have a slow childhood for my son. I wanted him to really be in the essence of play. I wanted him to learn from land-based knowledge, eco-literacy, and really kind of have those essential skills and values and beliefs rooted in his foundational learnings early. And as he's progressed through public school, the public school is very, very open to a hybrid learning model. And so it's also been a really great experience for him to be able to, go to school, socialize with different kids, have different teachers, learn from different adults as well, and then also be able to come home and have slower days that can really help emotionally regulate him and to also regulate his sensory processing. As an autistic child, he has very different abilities and very different needs than a lot of his peers. And so it's been a really great opportunity to be able to offer that to him. So one of the things that we're going to look at over the course of the next few minutes is that a typical day in the life of a homeschooling parent. I first want to say that as a homeschooling parent, you don't need to be certified in anything. The curriculum at Oranges make it super easy to plug and play all different lessons, all different ways of learning, whether your child is more visual or auditory or kinesthetic. Obviously, they're learning, so they probably have a little bit of everything. But the curriculum is very, very easy to use. And a typical homeschooling day really kind of is built throughout the entire day. So how do we wake up in the morning to how do we want to close out at the end of the day? And so again, these are some pictures of how my homeschooling goes with my son. And so you can see that there are pictures of us out and about. He has one on the top left here, which is him sharing his tap dancing and his top hat in his public school. But we do Indigenous drumming. We have an Indigenous Musqueam elder that we learn from on the Musqueam territory here in unceded Vancouver. We also, he is also part of like the makers markets, and we do yoga classes. And so a lot of our homeschooling isn't just in the home. We are actually going out into the world, doing different classes, different types of community pods of homeschoolers as well. There's lots of them out there. So he has an opportunity to have a very different educational upbringing than just being in the traditional school system. One of the benefits as well is he gets to actually see both. So my hope is that as he gets older, and I am a single mom, so I do have to work, so he does have to go to school for some of the time of the week, is that he will be able to challenge the educational system as well and advocate for himself and what he needs within those systems. We also do lots of different field trips. So field trip Fridays are usually part of the homeschooling. So most of our homeschooling is actually done outside as much as we can. Again, that feeds in, the land-based learning as well. But a typical day will start with waking up. I mean, he's a 7-year-old. We get up early. So we have quiet time, and then we do something called shape of the day. And so what we always start with is something called sensory and emotional regulation. So these are all different emotions, making sure that both of our needs are met as when we get up and we do this together, Mummy chooses one and Leo chooses one. And then we talk about how that's going to work throughout the rest of our day. We have different shapes of the day, which I'll show you in a moment. This is one that we're using right now, which my son does use visual PEC communication cards. So we love using visual communication cards. And what is so amazing is that at his school, he actually brings them into his school and is actually using them with the other kids. So the other kids actually get a massive benefit of a lot of Leo's visual and homeschooling emotional sensory tools because he brings his toolkit to school. So I'm just going to go back one slide because it did switch over on me. So when we think about a typical day, where is it? There we go. Is that there's kind of a couple different blocks. So nutrition lessons, I feed into when we're making meals. We do the 3 M's, which is mindfulness, movement, and music. I try to have a really slow wake up, and I really like to have movement as being the fundamental principle for how we kind of like move into the morning. And then between 9 and 11, we have a morning block of 3 subjects. And then we have another nutritional lesson. We have some free time. So again, choice and autonomy. Just like any type of activity is that sometimes your kid's like, I don't want to do science. I don't want to do math. So it gives you the autonomy of moving some things around so that you still have all of the regular subject blocks within a day, but the ability to have for your child to have that independence of choice and autonomy. In the afternoon, same thing. So you can see that the traditional like schooling model is very different. So there's a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the afternoon, and then it's fed into our entire day. So it feels more organic that way. We play board games and we have family connection in the evening time, and then it's bath time and closing the day out. One of the things that I do love is Origins has these exit tickets, they're called, and we keep it in a little container, but it's just different things of like something I learned today. So Leo gets to choose one and I get to choose something I want to improve on. And so each day we have the opportunity of really kind of understanding how do we want to start the day? And then what do we learn throughout the day? What did I like about my day? What could I have done differently? Which also helps that solution seeking, as our kids get older. So to simplify, 2 hours in the morning, couple hours in the afternoon, brain breaks in between activities, so movement breaks or mindfulness breaks, and then integration into the daily routine as much as possible. So what I love about homeschooling is that it doesn't feel like we're sitting down at the desk and having to do the things. We get to feed it in through our day. My son really feels like he's playing more than he's at school per se. And so it also gives him a very different feel of what he gets in the public school setting. As I mentioned, start of the day, we start with an emotional check-in. We do a visual schedule. We do opening supports and daily planners. Those pre-fill planners are amazing. And then the end of the day, closing exit tickets is what we call them, and then family connection and reflections. So this is one daily schedule. Daily schedules can look all different ways. So this is one of the shape of the day that we use. It helps keep us on track. It also helps us to kind of move things around. And you'll see here, there's something called Leo's Choice and Mom's Choice. Something that I've learned from navigating autism with my son and also with myself as an autistic adult is that having autonomy is so important. But also having preferred activities early so that your child is really engaged in the learning process. He doesn't like spelling, so you can see it's towards the end of the day, but he loves flips and tricks, which is going to be bottle flipping and just board games. So he knows he's going to have something fun as soon as he does the one thing that he just defines as being boring because he has delayed fine motor control. So shape of the day is really, really important. There's a couple other things that we use too, changing up how we move through the day. So we might use a picker wheel. My son and I actually just got this because we've spent a lot of the time doing different prizes and stuff like this. So we have one of these things that we use. We'll put subjects on here for his movement. We'll put on different activities that we can move to. And it's something tactile that he can play with. So children really love to have tactile sensory feedback. That is how they're navigating the world. It's how they're learning and growing in the world. So having that integrated into the homeschooling it is deeply beneficial. So we have a few different ways that we do that. And again, it just engages that sensory processing. The morning block, as I mentioned, is about 20 to 30 minutes of reading and some form of visual something. What I love about, again, homeschooling is that you can keep the activities within the dynamic of the child. So my son, who is 7, so the attention span is very short. So 20 to 30 minutes is the most amount of time that he will spend on something at one time. Sometimes it goes a little longer, sometimes it's a little shorter, but the beautiful thing is we're doing it from home, so we can be flexible within that freedom. Then I do a choice, which is usually culture and society. Leo will do 20 to 30 minutes afterwards. We just go back and forth. Mommy chooses, Leo chooses, mommy chooses, Leo chooses. And that is really the morning of playing and learning for a couple hours. And then we have snack time and the nutritional lesson. And the afternoon block is going to look very similar. So again, we will usually go out and about for like 60 minutes. Sometimes it's a couple hours, especially in like the spring and summer and fall. Winter, he's temperature sensitive, so he doesn't love the snow. So sometimes it's a little harder to get him out of the house. But I think that's pretty traditional for a lot of kids. We usually do a field trip, and then we do a lot of outdoor movement. We happen to live by the beach and near trails and the forest, so we're very privileged to be able to live where we are. But anything that you can do outside, again, is just that deep connection with nature. As Ashley mentioned, nature deficit disorder is something that the medical community is starting to look at and has been growing in looking at the science and the evidence because of rise in mental health. Rise in chronically stressed kids, chronically sleep-deprived children. All of these things are because we're just moving too fast. We just need to slow it down and give kids an opportunity to be children and to be outside and to really understand that there is a connectedness between all things. So that's the afternoon block. And then I wanted to just show some photos of in real time, us doing our thing. So we, in that left-hand corner here is the one of the supplemental kind of like a la carte items. We love to look at mushrooms and lichen and all of the things being in the forest. We actively engage. Leo's making a pizza in that middle top. And then here's some just different things of being in and about. And just trying to engage as much as we can. The one on the right at the bottom, the fine arts, is we actually took that into an art gallery here. And we actually did an entire lesson just on the floor of the art gallery, which was really fun. And kids don't get an opportunity to do that a lot in their communities. We kind of like rush them from one thing to the next. So it's nice to be able to slow things down, but also have the opportunity to have those activities in different places. And then here's, again, just different things that we've done, different photos. We have some science and some color play. That's a form of twister. You'll actually find that movement video in one of the movement lessons as well that my son and I created together. One of the things that I will say when it comes to homeschooling is how to arrange your home for homeschooling. Is that I mean, I don't know about you, but I try not to have like all the things all over my house all the time. So having these different areas, or what we call learning zones, can really, really help the child and also yourself as a parent navigate the day. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And so the learning zones are really about reclaiming play. If children are going into the public school system, which is traditional schooling, we know that there isn't as much play as there could or should be, especially as we get into the older years. But it's designed to really make homeschooling easier, because then we can integrate lessons together. It helps develop your child's independence through, again, as I mentioned, educator's choice versus preferred activity. That really helps with both social well-being, but cognitive learning. And it also helps to advance emotional, creative, physical, and academic development by changing the environment and keeping a sense of play-based learning when we're moving through the learning journey. So these zones can include messy zones. So maybe that's a zone where science and nutrition happens. Maybe it's in the kitchen. So for science and nutrition, we tend to use the kitchen so that he can make a mess and I don't have to worry about it too much. Quiet time, we have a little quiet nook. The Zen den, we now call it, which is an outside zone, or sorry, a reading zone. Then we have an outside zone. We have a movement zone. With my profession as a movement coach and somatic educator, is I have the opportunity to have an on-site gym. So we have a lot of fun stuff that we have there. We also have the boring zone. I mean, kids are going to have a boring subject. So that's where we could do the boring stuff and we make fun of it and it becomes fun. And I try to have that as tactile as possible, because it also distracts him from the boringness of spelling and math for him currently. The creative zone, and of course, field trips. So let's take a peek at each one of those. So again, the messy zone, or art or science zone, is just a place where you can just get messy. This is in an old house. We now use our kitchen for the messy stuff, but we had a big table and would often do that there. But again, it gives the child an opportunity to just get messy, and you can keep all the stuff in that one area. Sensory zone, especially for children on the spectrum, is they need to have spaces where they can have either sensory down regulation or sensory up regulation, depending on their processing needs. But my son loves swings. He loves these little tiles, have like gel in it, so that when you step on them, the gel moves around. They're really cool. And then just different sensory things that you can get. This is an IKEA table that is great. It just has all this stuff that you can put, and then kids can go up to it and you can change the different sensory components per week based on the lessons. Then we have the Zen Den zone. So it's just a little nook in the corner where he's got a bunch of reading material. There's a tent, and it's just an opportunity for him to have a closed space, or for us to go there together and just really just zen out. The movement zone. So again, I mentioned a gym. So we have, all of our movement stuff. I tend to do this basically anywhere: living room, family room, in the gym. Sometimes outside, we'll actually take movement stuff outside and go and do that out in the park. Again, just having these different zones allows you to move around your home instead of having the homeschooling environment be in like one space. So it keeps it fresh for kids. And then, of course, the outdoor zone goes without say. It's the earth, the whole earth, move around it, be outdoors as much as possible. And we tend to take a lot of stuff with us when we'll go to the park. We'll bring a computer if we need to. Sometimes he likes to watch videos, even though it is digital outdoors. It just depending on what his needs are for that day. He might need a little more focus. But again, it's an opportunity to create zones and take them inside and outside. Before we move on to this slide, what I do want to mention and just show a couple things is we mentioned like printing stuff out. So I always have like a binder that I work with, which has, you know, all of the subjects are all color coded. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I color code everything. But this is kind of like what I would say my manual. And it just kind of hangs out in on our homeschooling desk. And then I have all these duotangs. So one of the things I did this summer was that to keep him kind of on track for both homeschooling and public school, is that I put all of our lessons into his school duotang. So he will take these back to his school this year. But what is great about that is, again, it just keeps everything moving together, and him knowing that school isn't just September, September to June. It's all year round. It's not meant to be really structured. The goal is play. The goal is having fun, and he looks forward to it. So, our summer schooling was really just a lot of play, but we used the same duotangs. We kept the same, somewhat flexible structure for our routine, so that as he goes back to school next week, he feels a lot more confident, and it's a much easier transition for him. So I hope that gives everyone a little bit of an opportunity to see what a typical day looks like for homeschooling. And again, as I close out my presentation, is I just want to always acknowledge that every child is different, every family is different, and just being, having the flexibility and freedom for you to connect with your child is you'll never regret it.
Beautiful share, Sarah. Goodness, I love seeing those pictures, all the learning zones. Leo is so lucky to have you as a mama and an educator. Thank you for being here, everybody. The last screen, I think you can still see it, says Roots and Wings. There's a coupon code there for you that will actually waive that $9.99 trial fee. And so you will be able to start for free, which is great. So copy and paste that link, write it down somewhere, or that coupon, Roots and Wings. You've already put your email in the chat. So at the end of this, I'm going to share a few links. But at the end of this, we are going to give the screen back to Genevieve, and I think she's going to actually share the winner right away. So hold on. If you want to see, Sarah created a really wonderful resource. It's sort of like a day in a life. It's a homeschooling day video. And I was going to just paste that in the chat for you in case you want to use it as a resource later. So there is that for you, as well as I wanted to also include a link to a previous homeschool webinar that was really like a homeschooling 101 course. During that session, Sarah was leading the call and sharing a lot more details about her homeschooling journey, hybrid learning, and answering questions like, am I qualified to homeschool? How do I manage homeschooling alongside work and other responsibilities? How do homeschool children socialize? Plus, we shared practical resources, strategies, and step-by-step plans. We went through some wonderful tips and tricks on planning a successful homeschool day, and it's just a really good one and available for playback. So I am going to copy and paste that link as well. Just 1 second. And then the last thing I wanted to provide you with is a PDF that you can download. Okay, so that first link I shared is a video, the day of a homeschooling day, typical homeschooling day. And then that second link is access to that webinar. So if you would like to watch the playback. And then last but not least, I'm going to attach a, it will let me. Actually, Genevieve, I'm going to let you, I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to let you, hopefully you have access and you can share I'm going to let you share while I figure out the. All right. Make sure you're unmuted if you want to talk.
Sorry about that. I was talking. So we're just going to do a little quick click to spin to see who is going to win the Year of Origins curriculum. And it looks like Sloan is the winner. Congratulations.
Awesome, Sloan.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
We will reach out to you via email and work with you directly to get you connected. So that's awesome. Congratulations. And we'll be doing one of these giveaways for all of the webinars that we do. So keep coming back, keep joining. And again, like Ashley said, that previous one that we did that we put in the link above is a really great kind of a 101. And so we are excited to have you guys check that out as well. Were there any questions that anybody had that we didn't answer that we can answer for you?
Thank you for doing the giveaway, leading that, Genevieve.
Yeah.
I was able to figure out how to attach. It's called How Origins Works. So if you want to have access to that, it basically is just a little PDF that you can take and download, keep on your computer, and it kind of goes over a little bit of what we talked about. So feel free to have that as well.
Awesome. Thanks everybody so much for joining us. And thank you, Ashley, and thank you, Sarah. Sarah, you're always just such an inspiration as a homeschool mom. And I love so much how you use Origins. I think you utilize it in such a wonderful way. I love how you take him out everywhere and you're using it out in the field. And it's so exciting that Origins gets to be shared in the public school in that way. And we're just really, really grateful for you and happy to have you as part of the journey. So thank you for sharing your time with us today and so everybody could see how you do it.
There is one question that popped up from Lauren. Is there a way to see if there is anyone in our local area or other places to connect with that are doing the curriculum? So one way you can do that, if you do choose to purchase a subscription, then you have access to that private Facebook group or community forum. And so you can post in there, and that's a great way to figure out who around you is using the curriculum. So that's one way you could do that.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate your time and hope you have a beautiful evening and hope to see you in another video soon.